on the ground. It was actually hit by the more minor earthquake in September and was being restored after that earthquake when yesterday's hit. And yesterday's, I'm afraid, finished it off. Out of town too, the force clear. Beautiful tourist drives, now rock-strewn assault courses. In the city, everyone affected. Water, where available, must be boiled. Half of all homes without power. Those that can, leaving. Christchurch Airport reopen, but packed with people desperate to get out. New Zealand is one of the least populated countries on Earth, famous for its wide open spaces. The terrible irony here, that this quake hit one of its most crowded places at one of its busiest times. Andrew Thomas, AlJazeera, Christchurch.
It looks terrible. Joe's here with the sport, and that's where they're going to be having the Rugby World Cup in, what, 7, 8 months?
Yeah, that's right, David. New Zealand's Prime Minister John Key says he still hopes that the matches in this year's Rugby World Cup can be played in Christchurch. But local officials say it's too early to tell whether that will be possible after Tuesday's devastating earthquake. New Zealand's second largest city is scheduled to host 7 games, including 2 quarter-finals in September and October this year. But that is now thrown into doubt after a 6.3 magnitude quake killed at least 75 people.
Look, if we could host the Rugby World Cup as we're intending to in Christchurch, I'd like to do that. It's some way into the future. It's a very important city to New Zealand, and it would be a demonstration that Christchurch is back up on its feet. I mean, one of the issues may be accommodation. We know there's been substantial damage to hotels, so again, that's something the Rugby World Cup Minister will be looking at.
Moving on to tennis, and third seed Francesca Schiavone has made a shock early exit from the Qatar Ladies Open. The Italian was beaten in straight sets by Peng Shuai of China. Peng, who was a qualifier for this tournament, dominated from start to finish and disposed of the tired-looking French Open champion 7-5, 6-3 to reach the quarter-finals. 8th-seed Shahar Peer was also knocked out by Marion Bartoli in straight sets. Now, Australian captain Ricky Ponting is facing charges from the International Cricket Council after allegedly damaging a TV set in a dressing room after his poor performance against Zimbabwe. Ponting has been criticised in the Indian media for the incident, but the Australian team spokesman says the whole matter has been blown out of proportion. Meanwhile, Pakistan have thrashed Kenya in their first match. They made a strong 317 for 7 from their 50 overs. In reply, Kenya were dismissed for just 112. Shahid Afridi starred for Pakistan with the ball taking 5 wickets. On to football. Manchester United will be without 5 key players when they take on Marseille in the first leg of their Champions League last 16 tie a little later. Central defenders Rio Ferdinand and Johnny Evans, as well as Ryan Giggs, Anderson and Michael Owen are all injured, but Brazilian twins Rafael and Fabio have been cleared fit. Marseille also have injury concerns with striker André-Pierre Gignon out and Loic Remy and Brandao doubtful. Bayern Munich will be looking to avenge their 2010 Champions League final defeat when they visit Inter Milan in the other game on Wednesday. Inter won that match 2-0 thanks to a brace from striker Diego Milito, but he is out injured for this game. More good news for Bayern is that influential players Frank Ribery and Arjen Robben are both well. And that is the sport for now. David.
Joanna, thank you very much indeed. That's it from me for now. In just a moment, Taimur Nabili will be here, keeping you up to date with events in Libya. Good to have your company.
Well, across the Indian subcontinent, we are looking at more rain showers coming into the forecast, especially down towards the south. Take a look at the forecast map. You notice down towards the very southern part of the continent, very heavy rain showers are going to start to move up. After that, we are going to be seeing some clouds pushing up, especially towards parts of Hyderabad. For New Delhi, though, 22 degrees for you. You are going to be seeing some rain just to the north towards the Himalayas, as well as some heavier snow in the upper elevations. But good news for Sri Lanka. We are looking at partly cloudy conditions and very dry for you, so you can finally dry out from all that flooding you did have. Over towards Africa, we are going to be seeing some very heavy rain showers along the coast of South Africa, Durban, as well as Johannesburg. Your temperatures are going to get into the mid to upper 20s, but Cape Town is looking beautiful at 28 degrees. Madagascar, That is not a cyclone. We're still seeing a lot of tropical weather there, but the cyclone has passed, but flooding is still a big potential in their forecast. Up towards the Arabian Peninsula, temperatures are coming up. We are looking at Doha of about 27 degrees on Thursday, Riyadh about 31. Those temperatures are going to start to come up a little bit as we go towards the weekend. Notice here, Doha at 28, Riyadh at 33, and as we go a little bit further towards the north, we're going to be seeing Baghdad looking at temperatures of about 27 degrees for them.
If you're a Nokia user, you can download AlJazeera's news widget from Nokia's Ovies store. The news widget, available on compatible Nokia devices, gives users quick and easy access to real-time news updates from AlJazeera English. See the world in real time. AlJazeera Mobile.
China has a growing elderly population, and as a consequence of its one-child system, there are fewer younger people to take care of them. It's a responsibility that often falls to the state. Private retirement homes offer an alternative, but independence comes at a price, financially and emotionally. Faces of China, at this time on AlJazeera.
More than 1,000 dead. Italy's foreign minister says reports of Libya's escalating violence are to be believed. Hello, I'm Taimur Nabili from the Al Jazeera News Centre in Doha. We're bringing you continuing coverage of the uprising in Libya. These are the main stories. Warnings of a biblical exodus to Europe as thousands of Libyans flee the violence. A Libyan general has told Al Jazeera an Air Force pilot chose to eject from his plane rather than obey orders to bomb protesters in Benghazi. And the search continues for around 300 people still missing after New Zealand's earthquake. Well, let's bring you up to date with the latest developments in Libya. A Libyan army general has told Al Jazeera just a short while ago that one of the country's Air Force pilots refused to bomb the city of Benghazi, choosing instead to eject from his plane. The general said his forces are backing the anti-government protesters. A Libyan national airliner was seen circling in Maltese airspace. It's now been ordered to turn back. Our correspondent in Valletta says it may be running out of fuel. Reports also say the first western city is now being controlled by protesters. A witness says 6 people were killed and 200 injured in Misurata, around 120 kilometers west of Tripoli. And reports of 1,000 people now killed in Libya are credible, according to Italy's foreign minister. He says he expects up to 300,000 Libyan refugees to head to Italy. Well, Lawrence Lee's been monitoring the day's events.
Muammar Gaddafi may have used his famous Green Book in his address to threaten protesters with death, but in the town of Tobruk, this is what they think of it. Here, the commander of the Libyan army has told Al Jazeera that his forces are with the people, not Gaddafi.
I was